Hello, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome from my side. Welcome to our presentation, Virtual Testing Environments. My name is Jan, and I brought with me today Benjamin.
Hello, everyone. My name is Benjamin Seidel. I'm an expert for virtual testing, and I'm very happy to give you this presentation today.
So, we are here today, and we are showing you our vehicle simulation service. You can see here the strong driver, the digitalization, brought us to installing more and more virtual test environments. And you can see here the racing track, for example. This was a request. Please reduce our efforts. We have to send vehicles over to a racing track in Spain, and we have to bring vehicles to the United States and to test in San Francisco traffic. And so we set up a virtual vehicle with a virtual driver and with virtual tracks and connected it to the real engine dyno. And these guys did a durability run about 25,000 kilometers within 4 days. So this is the kind of new efficiency we are aiming at. But we are not only focusing on this kind of technology. We are also transporting our cross-domain team spirit. So these are different experts working very close together, coming from different domains, and running these kind of test environments. And we had the experience that these teams connect also very good to the teams on our customer sides, to develop these teams over there to handle these test environments on their own. But in a minute, Benjamin will take you to 2 examples to get more ideas about this. Be curious. But to get an overview, of course, you have here on the left side the classical services we do. This is like test benches, chassis dynos, testing on the real road, and so on. But then we divide our services on partial system virtualization, you can see in the middle, and on full system virtualization, you can see on the right. And for both of this, you will get an example within a minute. And here's the kind of vision. This is the full virtual vehicle. But we are sure that we will not be able to set up a full virtual vehicle down to all virtual ECUs within the next 2 years. So we decided to slice this vehicle in different parts, and we can offer these services today. And you will see 2 of these examples right now. So Benjamin, it's all yours.
Okay, thank you very much. So I want to take you into a little deep dive of first a solution or an example of a partial system simulation, namely the VITE system. You can see it here. VITE system either for e-motor or here for a classic combustion engine. And what is VITE about? It's about creating a virtual environment, connecting it to a test bench, and to bring vehicles to your test benches. And then the second example, a full system simulation. You see it here, our ADAS features. ADAS feature simulation. So the advantage here from this simulation is that you don't need prototype vehicles in an early phase of an ADAS project. You can do front loading without real prototypes and do everything in the simulation. So let's jump right into it. Here the partial system simulation, VITE virtual integrated test environment. And if we take the example Jan just gave, our problem that we want to bring a track to our test environment, to our test benches, actually is pretty easy. All you need is a commercial software car maker connected on a real-time computer. And on this software, we are creating models of vehicle. And inside this vehicle model, we put one of our patented drivers and put this vehicle driver combination on your track. So in this virtual environment, you can connect to your test bench. Could be either an internal combustion engine test bench, like an engine test bench, or an e-motor test bench, or whatever system you want to stimulate with real driving. And then if you have this set up, it's possible for you to shift real road tests from a real vehicle into this environment. Why would you do that? The advantages, you can benefit from a 24/7 automation, meaning, you do your tests all around the clock. And second, you have an virtual environment where you can test dedicated what you want to see, meaning you can cut off all the rain and sunshine and wind and I don't know from your outside environment. You can put all of this in a controlled virtual environment. And the services we are offering, you see it down here. First, the creation and integration of individual models, and the second, the setup and expert support. So let me take you now to our second example, a full system simulation, ADAS simulation. So if you want to do this ADAS kind of simulation, you need to keep in mind that you need to combine models from many different domains. Meaning you need to keep in mind models of radar, of camera, video, brake, steering, and also the powertrain. And we at BEG, we invented a new system to put all of this into a virtual platform working cross-domain. So how do we do it? You see here on the left our SIL model library, where we have all the VCUs of the different domains stored. And of course, we could also implement your own VCU. And we put all of this together with the co-simulation down here. Down here. With the co-simulation, for example, an MATLAB Simulink. And the aim is to let everything run on one single machine, this one here. And you could even connect different machines for continuous testing. And again, why would you do this? It's possible with such a virtual platform early in a project to do lots of front loading, meaning early in an ADAS project, we don't need a prototype vehicle. We just do everything in simulation, the first software test, the first calibration, and then only later in the project we would switch to a real vehicle. And what are our services here? You just see anti-clockwise the virtualization of an ECU, the sensor simulation, modeling of Bosch sensors, the setup of an SIL environment, and then our king discipline, I don't know, the cross-domain solution, where we combine all these different cross-domain features in one virtual environment. So let me take you now on a little outlook, credible simulation. Since simulation gets more and more important, we at Bosch Engineering, we tackled the question, how could we make simulation more trustworthy, more credible? And we developed a Bosch-wide standardized framework to answer questions like, did I build the right model for the right purpose? And with such a system, you can, sorry, pardon. Sorry. With such a system, you can also share models between different departments. The bullet point would be reuse of models, since the intended use of this model is clearly defined and clearly described. So everyone knows what he's getting using that specific model that has this credible stamp on it. And if we look now left in our framework, the process methods, tool, and experts, this framework is not only working Bosch internally, we also could tailor it to your needs, to your needs. And let me now talk a little bit about cross-domain collaboration. So please imagine simulation as a puzzle with different pieces from different domains. And we at BEG, we developed a culture to staff cross-domain teams, meaning experts from these different domains working hand in hand together. And with such a team, we could, together with your experts, have a look at your simulation, at your puzzle, and maybe we find some missing pieces, maybe we find some gaps. And then we could check in our Bosch VITE simulation if we find a piece, if we find something that would fill this gap to help you to bring your simulation to the next level, one step forward. And if you ask yourself now, okay, how can we work together? This sounds really, really cool. I want to work with these guys. This as well is pretty easy. So first, it's always possible to have a live demonstration in Abstatt, to have an expert deep dive, some further discussions. Then then as a second step, maybe we do a requirements workshop, like we check your individual issues, your individual problems, your pain points. And third, we create your own POC, your proof of concept, that you can feel and touch and bring to your environment and try out our solutions in your environment. So I'm coming to the end of the presentation already. Let me sum up the benefits again for you. So we at BEG, at Bosch Engineering, we provide a full simulation service out of one hand. And why would you do simulation? First, you could save resources. Keep in mind the front-loading approach with ADAS, where you need real prototype vehicles much later in the project. Second, speed up your engineering. Their perfect example is this 24/7 when you make use of the test automation and, for example, use your test bench automation to speed everything up. And third, you increase the test quality by having an, let's call it safe environment where you can really test whatever you want and you are not disturbed by single things driving outside. Like today you have a lorry in front of you, second day it's rainy, whatever. In your stable environment, you can really test what you really want to see. So thank you very much for your attention. We are super happy to answer all your questions. So hopefully we find some nice questions in the chat. And there we are open to have a little discussion. And you see here all the contacts of the different experts. Just feel free to contact us for any further deep dives or whatever you want. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So, Benjamin, are there already some questions available?
Yes, I check in the chat. Unfortunately, in the chat there are no questions yet, but maybe people are just typing. So maybe we start with some frequently asked questions that people always asked after our presentation.
Okay.
Maybe this one, frequently asked. We don't have a project right now, but we are interested in what you're doing. Can we still exchange with your experts for this?
Yes, this is a good question. So we see that there's a lot of stress at the moment at all expert areas because they see the testing effort rises and rises, and there needs some solution. So even if you have not a project at the moment, we are very happy to meet you, discuss about your project, about your ideas, and see if we can be a part in that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Still no question in the chat. So another frequently asked question, maybe this one. We would like to build a virtual environment around the test bench. What do we need and how could you support us?
Okay, so in general, we have to, we do an analysis at first about your test environment and see what's there. And we are very interested to see what kind of, we call it puzzle parts. Benjamin explained it before, which kind of models you got already or which kind of expert teams you got already. And then we would start with our cross-domain team, work together with you guys and find out what we can add on your test bench to do, for example, durability tests, emission tests, different fuels, different system layouts, whatever. And then we can make a plan together what we have to do. Okay,
thank you. Still no question in the chat, so maybe one last question regarding ADAS. Are there any benefits if I use a SIL environment for an ADAS project?
Yes, we have seen that for ADAS, lots of development is still ongoing in the real vehicle. But last year, we started to set up this virtual test environment in a SIL area. And we have seen that the colleagues could do a very good pre-calibration only on the desk. And they could do maneuvers which are dangerous in the real world and just see and feel how it works. So lots of times, new calibrations for ADAS, they are difficult to explain. The changes are difficult to feel, but the simulation visualizes it, and you can see what it does and discuss with our customers if this is the right idea or not, or even bring this environment to your area so you can test by your own. So we are ready for that.
Okay, thank you very much. Since there are still no questions in the chat, I think we are done. A bit earlier than expected, but it's okay.
Thank you very much for your time. And you got the contact, so we are ready to run into projects, run into discussions with you. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Bye.